Welcome to the Bariatric Nutrition Coach Podcast, where we empower you with weight loss surgery, nutrition knowledge, mindset advice, and inspiration so you succeed in your weight and health journey. I'm your host, Jane Stoltz, and I am a bariatric dietitian who has helped over 1,300 people on their weight loss surgery journeys. I'm also a solo mum, lover of long walks while listening to podcasts, partial to a glass of wine, and the ocean is my happy place. Join me as I dive deep into bariatric nutrition and lifestyle topics and deliver them to you in bite-sized, palatable episodes every Monday. Now let's go. Welcome everyone to this week's podcast, and I have a lovely lady with me, Katina, who is a current client. And you, Katina, welcome.
Hello, thank you.
You're my first, I suppose, client. I've spoken to a couple of past clients, but you're my first kind of person I'm speaking to that's actually currently a client. So first, also want to say thank you so much for coming on this podcast.
Yeah, that's okay. Thank you for having me. It's such an honor.
So I know all about you, well, to some degree, because we've been working together for some bit of time, but I would love to hand over to you for you to introduce yourself and then we can get into the chat.
Okay, I'm Katina and I am a mum of 3 and I had gastric sleeve surgery on the 24th of August 2023. So that would make me, 10 weeks post-op, I think, at this stage. And I have so far lost 21 kilos.
Fantastic. And I know we've been working together since the early days, but I wanted to talk or bring up the topic of, people have different words for it, but there's buyer's remorse, having surgery, being really uncomfortable and thinking, what have I done?
Yeah. The only stage that I have felt that is when I woke up.
Okay.
From surgery. Yeah, I remember waking up and looking at my husband and I said to him, what have I done? Because I didn't know what to expect when I woke up from surgery. I think like all surgeries, you kind of think on the other end, you might feel a bit of pain, but when I woke up, I was like, oh my goodness, what is going on? This is not what I was expecting. It was uncomfortable. I thought I'd just been winded, like I'd been punched in the gut. That was sort of it. But since sort of after the first day, since surgery, I have been literally onwards and upwards. It's been a loss every single day or every single week. I've had just positive feelings coming through my body, positive reactions from my body changing, from my family, my friends. People are really noticing, and it's a massive confidence booster.
Because we started working very early days. So great. Now, I would love to ask you about the decision to have bariatric surgery, and it's not that long ago that you were pre-surgery, but yeah, I'd love to hear more about why you decided to have surgery.
I decided to have surgery because my husband had gastric sleeve surgery exactly 1 year prior, and he so far has lost about 50 kilos and he looks great. And I found that while he was losing, I was just gaining, and we had just had our 3rd baby and I hadn't lost the baby weight, and I was really, really discouraged. And I said to my husband, enough is enough. Something has to change. I'm sick of feeling like I haven't slept. I'm sick of not being able to get on the ground with my children or run after them or go up a flight of stairs without huffing and puffing. Something has to change. And so we had sold our house and we had a little bit of money in the bank account. And I said to him, that's it. I'm using it to better my life, because without it, I'm not going to have a life. It's too much. So that was the big sort of catalyst. Was he had had it. He's had great results. I need to get my life back and be me again.
And you were motivated from really early days, I suppose, having your husband and having seen kind of the work and the changes that occur after surgery. And I know from our early chats of being really motivated and really focused on getting the most out of it. Can you remember what your concerns were before surgery? And I suppose I'm asking this to really speak to the people that may be listening to this podcast that are thinking about having surgery. And for me, it's around normalizing all those things that people consider.
what's life going to be like, and am I going to be able to eat that again? Or what can you remember the things that you were thinking about before surgery in part of that decision-making process?
Yeah, so I think that if you're going to get bariatric surgery, you really have to sit down and look at your diet and look at what you're eating and realize that you probably won't be able to have a lot of the things that you had before. Your body probably won't tolerate it in the early days. It doesn't mean you can't have treats or snacks later on or whenever you decide to try. It just means that your body has completely changed and it's okay and it takes time. My biggest suggestion for anyone getting bariatric surgery would probably be go hire someone. Hire a bariatric dietitian. Do yourself a favor and do that, because you need foundation work. You need to know what you can and can't eat, because I actually had no idea, and I had appointments with my surgeon's nutritionist or dietitian, but it was very basic. There was no variety, and honestly I was very lost. So when I found Jane, I actually just leapt into your arms, Jane.
And I caught you.
Yes. And it has been the best thing that I've ever done, because I have structure in my day. Honestly, I had no routine. I had no idea what I could and couldn't eat. I bought a recipe book, but it was kind of like, that doesn't appeal to me. Weet-Bix doesn't appeal to me. I've never been a Weet-Bix kind of gal. I've always been a hot breakfast kind of person. So knowing that I can adapt baked beans into my eggs and all sorts of beautiful, delicious food, I can still fit, has made this journey a lot easier.
Lovely, Katina. And I say it all the time, and because it's really important, but it's also being able to hear it is another thing. If you're before surgery, there's so much change being asked of you after surgery. And it's when we're changing really kind of key things in our lifestyle and changing things around in our day to fit in with things, having someone to hold your hand and really help to make it fit in with you personally and make it practical is really important. And also, I really take my hat off to you, because you're doing this at the same time having 3 children. And that's a really big juggle. And the mums listening to this will really relate to that, because it's hard enough having children when you feel lots of energy, and you decided obviously to go through this and go through the stages and juggle it all. But you can see on the other side that it gets easier and it gets better. And there's a lot of lovely outcomes. So before we get into more of that positives, what have you found is the hardest adjustment? Have you found something in particular that's kind of the hardest part of adjusting?
The hardest thing that I've found has definitely been timing when I'm going to eat, when I need to drink water, that sort of thing. It is a juggling act. And especially, I'm a busy mum of 3. I'm running around. So I think I have to think about me and prioritizing what my body needs. And at this moment, I need water. And at this moment, I need to eat. I might not feel hungry, but I have to do it, because otherwise I'll fall short of my protein goals through the day. And then that has a cascading effect. So you miss out on your water throughout the day and your lips get dry. And then you feel really dehydrated and all you want to do is gulp water down, but you can't. It is a very structured day that you have to stick to. But I think the one thing that I have to remember for myself is it's for me and it's for my kids, because it has to be. They're number one in my world. They have to come first. And in order for them to come first, I have to do it right.
That's wonderful, because that's really what came up right then for me is that's your why. For a lot of mums, doing it obviously for their children is really key, and also showing self-care for themselves. Their children will see them caring for themselves and eating well, and it's a lovely thing for their children as well. So that's really fantastic. Also, it's for people that are pre-surgery. Often people think, because they have a big appetite and thinking about food all the time, they think, oh, after surgery, I'm not going to have to think about food less. It's going to be great. I can do it. And the reality is it's a really structured day, and it can feel like you're at the army kind of thing. Do this. It does get easier and it does fall more into a flow.
I've never thought about food so much in my life.
Yeah.
It's not like as in like craving anything. It's more so like, what am I going to use? What am I going to eat today that's going to meet my protein requirements and fuel my body, and what's going to nourish me? That's what I think about now. It's my mindset has completely changed, and it's the food that I'm eating is delicious, but when I'm done, I'm done. I think pre-surgery, you kind of think, oh, there's one bite left on the plate. Oh, I'm just going to eat it. But post-surgery, you look at it and you think, there's one bite left, but I cannot do it. I'll be sick. I can't do it. I don't want to feel yuck. I'd rather be hungry than feel disgusting after I eat. And it's amazing how it changes so quickly. What you can tolerate, what feels comfortable, when to stop. And it does take time, but you figure it out pretty quickly.
So on the topic of you having 3 children, I mean, the benefit of children, I say to clients, is obviously they're gorgeous and all of that, but they do need to eat regularly, which is a lovely thing, because we can leverage that. And talk to me, I'd love to know how you've been able to fit things in around your children, and do you prepare the night before, or how's all that working, Katina?
Yeah, so in your program, you stress a lot about meal planning and prepping, and I have found it to be very valuable in my life. So I meal prep probably once a fortnight. I probably do a big meal prep of just like lunches and dinners, and I will prepare little containers measured out with 2 serves, so I can have one for lunch and one for dinner if that's what I would like to eat. So it means that because I eat so little, I don't have to worry about making something right then and there that my children probably won't like. Because let's be real, they're very picky. But yeah, so I can figure out what will work for me, what will work in my protein goal, what will work in my protein needs. But then I can eat that with my children at the same time. So yes, I do the meal prep once a fortnight, but then with my children, I'll make their dinner and make sure that I sit down and eat with them at the same time.
Now tell me, is this you? You have had your bariatric surgery and you're feeling lost, you're lacking support, and you don't know what to eat and when. Or you may have noticed after your surgery, your hunger and cravings have started to return and you are scared you won't reach your goals. You may have had some weight regain and you want to stop the weight regain and lose some more weight. You may be pre-surgery and you want support to be fully prepared for your weight loss surgery journey. If any of these sound like you, then listen up. I have developed my Bariatric Nutrition Bootcamp just for you. My coaching program provides education, coaching and community for people getting ready for their weight loss surgery and at every stage after their surgery. There are 4 key areas that I focus on with my clients in my Bariatric Nutrition Bootcamp. One is the Bariatric Nutrition Basics. You will learn what and how to eat so you feel satisfied, reach your protein and fluid goals, and have less cravings, and know how to manage your hunger in the future. Meal ideas and meal planning. You'll learn to plan meals and snacks that you like, so you have great options on hand when it comes time to eat. Also, we focus on mastering weight regain habits, identifying any habits that are stopping you from reaching your goals, and create manageable strategies to get back on the straight and narrow so you can manage your weight for the rest of your life. And also, I focus with my clients in my Bariatric Nutrition Bootcamp on learning to trust your body and food. Start to enjoy your food again by relearning to listen to your body cues so you have less guilt and improve your relationship with food and your body. If you are ready to maximize your weight loss surgery results, feel confident in your journey, and be led with support and expert guidance, then the Bariatric Nutrition Bootcamp is for you. If you would like to know more about my coaching program, check out the link in the show notes.
That's great. And how do you manage going out for play dates and those things, taking food with you and being prepared?
Yeah, so I take a lot of snacks with me anyway for my children. So I just throw in a few extra things like cheese sticks or like ham, rolled up ham with some cheese, or I bring a protein coffee with me a lot of the time.
Oh.
It just depends how long I'm going to be out. But yeah, I'm always thinking about, I have to make sure that I eat. Just because I'm out doesn't mean I can't eat. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said before, everything that I think about, what do I need? It's not what do my kids need? What does my husband need? He can figure it out. I'll figure out myself.
That's a good topic or an interesting topic. You've got somebody else in the house that's had surgery, but he's at a very different stage than you. He's much further down the track. And so you're both managing your own intake at this stage, or you're looking after yourself. And are you eating the same meals or you're eating different food?
At this stage, we eat separate meals because I eat a lot of curries. I love curry. It's really simple. I just have to pull it out of the freezer. It's in my little container and I'm happy. But my husband doesn't like that sort of thing. I don't even really know what he eats, to be honest. It's not on the top of my priorities list, so I don't really notice. But we do sit down as a family and eat together. So it has been definite big adjustment having 2 bariatric patients in the household, because I will make something and say, hey, do you want to try that? And he goes, nah, I'm full. I don't want to try it, whatever the case is. And I'm like, cool, no worries. Like, I won't force you.
Yeah, thank you for that. I mean, you're an open person, you're very chatty. Have you shared much with other people around having surgery, managing the social situation? It's such a big topic. You're at that point now where people are starting to see, obviously, your weight loss. How's that going for you, managing that attention and managing eating out socially?
Eating out socially is okay. I mean, I'll just order, something that's protein focused. And I live by your philosophy, 3 bites of protein, 1 bite of other, because I'm in those early days. I make sure that my food is very saucy or soft and moist because it goes down better. It sits easier. It sits better. Yeah, I think I have had comments, you look great, you've lost weight and all that sort of stuff. And I say, absolutely, I've worked really hard. And I'm really open telling people I have had bariatric surgery because it's not something to be ashamed of. It is not the answer to my prayers. It is just a tool, like a gym membership. You've got to go to the gym and use the membership. It's not like your new stomach is going to be the way that you lose weight. No, you have to fuel your body with the right stuff. Yes, you have that physical limitation of not being able to eat a lot of food, but if you're fueling your body with sugar and carbs and not prioritizing your nutritional needs, then you're not going to get the results that you want.
That's great. When you're talking there, I was thinking of you from day one, really had that perspective and had that view, Katina. Many people feel that the surgery is going to do all the work for them. And what you're just talking about is it's a tool, but I need to kind of drive that tool or use that tool. So where do you think that came from? Like, why do you think you've got that view from day one?
I think because I've seen my husband go through this whole weight loss journey as well. And I've seen him plateau. I've seen him stall, and I've seen the food that he puts in his body, and I've seen the food that he tolerates and what he doesn't tolerate. And it's kind of put into perspective, well, it's not just the physical limitation. They say what diet is 80% of your weight loss. It's 80% and 20% exercise. And I know he doesn't exercise. So it has to be the diet. And yes, he's got that physical limitation, but what you put in your body is going to drive. It's what is going to make you feel good. And I know some days I don't want to eat healthy. I don't want to go for the can of tuna, but I think to myself, you have to, because you have to meet your protein needs. Otherwise you'll get sick. I don't know. I've had to be very firm with myself and very cut dry, because I know that if I don't look at things in a way that food is fuel and food is medicine, and I'm enjoying the way that my life is now, then I won't enjoy it. I won't enjoy the process, and I won't see the change, and I won't understand that I'm doing this for me and I'm doing this for the better benefit of myself and for my family.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And I really appreciate you sharing all of that, because I know people are going to get a lot of value out of hearing your story. And it's a really wonderful point. Often, well, the people that I have spoken to, past clients, are much further down the track, and you're in that early days and really lovely and focused. And I really appreciate you sharing your journey and where you're at, your bells of wisdom. And I know you're so clear about your why. And I think for people listening that may be a bit further down the track, they can ask themselves, have they forgotten their why? Because when people have decided to have bariatric surgery, there are really specific reasons. It's such a big decision. I say physically, emotionally, financially. And as time goes on, we can forget our why, but you're so clear about your why, which is really lovely. And you can't forget your why because they're running around you every day. Do you have any pearls of wisdom or any final thoughts, Katina, if somebody's listening to this that is before surgery? Because you are still really early days after. But so speaking to that person, maybe pre-surgery, if they're listening, any kind of words of wisdom or thoughts about deciding to have surgery?
Yeah, I think if you're deciding to have surgery, do it. Absolutely. Just do it. It is the best thing that you'll ever do for yourself and for your life. And while you're at it, go hire a bariatric dietitian and really get those foundations in place, because it will set you up for the rest of your life completely. I think that hiring Jane has actually been the best thing that I've done in my
thanks so
life,
much.
because I was lost. I had no idea what to expect. I've never done bariatric surgery before. I've never had it done before. So yes, you have all the information from your surgeon and from their nutritionist and all that sort of stuff. If you have lifetime support, that's great. But a lot of times you don't. So you need to take that next step and invest in yourself, because that's what it is. It's the most amazing investment that I've made.
Oh, thanks so much, Katina. That's lovely. Well, you're an absolute pleasure to work with. So thank you so much for your time and for your generosity and sharing where you're at and your journey and everything. I really appreciate it. And thank you everyone for listening. And if you are enjoying my podcast, if you find value in my podcast, I would love a review. I would love a rating. And if you do really enjoy it, I'd also love you to share the podcast with somebody else that you would find it valuable. So thank you so much. And I really look forward to being back in your ears next week. Bye for now.